Grant Newsham, welcome to our show. Thanks for coming on.
I'm glad to be here. Thanks very much.
Now, Secretary of State Antony Blinken is warning of serious consequences if China supplies weapons and ammunition for Russia's war in Ukraine. But he didn't get into any specifics. What kinds of consequences does the U.S. have as options here?
Well, I would say a very severe, furrow-browed warning from the Secretary of State. I'm being a little bit funny because we do always warn of serious consequences, but I haven't seen that China's ever experienced any. What could we do to really get their attention? Well, a much stricter crackdown on semiconductor imports and semiconductor machinery, exports to China, really choke that off. Additionally, cut the flow of foreign exchange, convertible currency, US dollars to China. Clamp down on that, and that would mean some real restrictions on the ability of U.S. companies, financial institutions to do business with China. Do those kind of things, and you'll get China's attention.
Beijing so far has denied claims of supplying lethal material support to Russia. But if China does decide to do so, what kind of impact do you think that will have on the war and on the United States' relationship with China?
Well, it'll take a lot of the pressure off of Russia. It just doesn't have the industry to build the weapons and particularly the ammunition, artillery, small arms ammunition even, that it needs to fight a war. You just go through this stuff incredibly quickly. But do keep in mind that the Americans might know more than they're letting on. In fact, that's quite possibly the case. It could be that the Chinese already are providing some lethal weaponry. Wouldn't surprise me a bit. Additionally, it's known that the North Koreans are supporting the Russians with lethal hardware, and I'll bet you that they have China's approval for that, and that China is also resupplying North Korea for everything they give to Russia. So it wouldn't surprise me if the Americans know more than they're saying. So Russia would find it very helpful to have a big source of supply. How would that affect the U.S.-China relationship? Well, it would worsen it, but it just makes it harder for the people that want to ignore what China is doing to ignore it. So it would be, a gradual worsening in the U.S.-China relationship.